Joining us live now is Shireen Miriam Haskell. She's the Deputy Foreign Minister of Israel and a member of the Israeli Knesset, joining us live from Jerusalem tonight. Ms. Haskell, thank you very much for speaking to NDTV. We're all waiting very closely for the Indian Prime Minister's address in the Knesset that's set to begin very, very shortly. What's the mood on the ground? You're a member of the Knesset. You're a part of the government in Israel. What's the mood? How are you seeing this visit by the Indian Prime Minister?
Modi to come here to the Knesset to have a historic speech. This is the first Prime Minister from India that is given the opportunity to address our parliament, our Knesset, here at the General Assembly. This is very symbolic, hugely. And here in Israel, we are extremely excited. We love the Indian people. We have strengthened our relationship throughout the last 2 years with mutual challenges that we've shared. The strategic alliance, partnership have grown dramatically. And this visit is not just a symbol of solidarity, but it is also a key point in how to expand the bridges and the relationship between both of our countries.
And Ms. Haskell, it's always very nice to see the personal bond, between Prime Minister Netanyahu and Prime Minister Modi. They hugged when he came down from that aircraft. This is something that the media on both sides in both countries have written a lot about. How do you see that? This is so important in the relations between two countries, having that personal bond.
Absolutely. And I really think it reflects also the people-to-people relationship that have strengthened. My sister lives in Austin, and there's many Jewish community who lives in America, in Canada, in Europe, and there's many Indian communities in those countries. And during the last 2 years, they've got closer. They went to demonstrate together. I saw marches with Indian flags and Israeli flags and American flags, and it was so heartwarming. And I think this hug is a real hug among friends, among partners, and it really symbolizes a lot. The world is going through major shifts and changes. Both of these countries are dealing with extreme radical Islamists, with great security challenges, with very harsh reality on our border. And I think that during the times of tectonic changes in world orders, together with the partnership with America, I think it's strengthened the world. I think he sent a clear message that there's people here who believes in freedom, in equality, in democratic values, who are partnering together to create more stability, more prosperity.
Deputy Foreign Minister Haskell, as we speak, as the Indian Prime Minister is in your country right now, we do know that there is a lot of uncertainty over what's going to happen with Iran. There are war clouds over Iran. Iran is a country with which India also has diplomatic ties. In view of that, how important is this India-Israeli friendship? Because India sees itself as a country that is able to bring conversations into complicated disputes.
Absolutely, and it's important to understand. Israel from the start, we wanted the diplomatic path, but we didn't want to lie. And unfortunately, with the agreements that were signed with Iran, they deceived the world. They went behind the back and broke those deals, those agreements that they signed on. And the diplomatic channel that President Trump is leading right now is positive. And, we hope it might lead to a good result. But unfortunately, the Iranians are seeming just to try and buy more time. President Trump had a major speech yesterday, a very long one that speaks about a lot of these problems. Some of them is about the nuclear program of Iran, the ballistic missile of Iran, a direct threat by Iran on the United States with their ballistic missile program. So those challenges are serious challenges. They call for the elimination of America. They call for the elimination of Israel. And so I'm not sure that tomorrow in the talks in Geneva, the Iranian will actually agree to a deal like that. I wish there would have been a diplomatic path, but unfortunately, time after time, Iran is choosing a path of war. Look on what they've done internally in their own country, where peaceful demonstrators went out and marched in the streets just to ask for their liberty and their freedom. Little children who were shot dead by the IRGC forces, teenagers, those young people, 35,000 people that were butchered on the streets. If they can do that to their own people, try and think what they're capable to do to their enemies.
Do you see India playing a role, in the region, Minister Haskell? This is a complicated issue,
Absolutely.
which has only intensified over the decades. But as you said, this is a world that is in churn. There's a huge amount of uncertainty right now. Do you see a specific role that India can play?
Absolutely. I think India is part of the good guys. I think India is part of the forces that can stabilize. India is a major component in their military effort. India is a massive economy. This is an economical power. And I think it has a major role to play in stability, in pushing prosperity and peace in the region. But we also need to understand who we're facing and how vicious and violent our enemies are. And we need to be able to deter them. And that's why I think that a partnership, a strategic partnership with Israel and with India and with the United States is critical for that deterrence, to be a power of stability and peace.
Minister Haskell, one final question. What would Israel be looking for from the Prime Minister of India's speech in the Knesset? This is a friendship that has been tested over the years. The strategic relationship, the defense relationship, have had a trial by fire. India went to combat against Pakistan just a few months ago as well, in which Israel has proven to be a very reliable friend. What would the state of Israel be looking for from Prime Minister Modi's message today?
Wow. Well, first, a message of friends, of friendship, of family, of, a very warm welcome. I think that what we would expect is, yes, to talk about an economical partnership. I mean, India is a leading force in the technological industry, in the startups, innovation. Israel's also. Think what we can achieve together in collaboration, whether it's through the technological field and maybe some research joint ventures and centers. And I hope, and what we expect is mainly to talk about that, about how we strengthen the partnership and how we create a more stable region and a more stable world.
It's very important and very valuable to us to hear from the Deputy Foreign Minister of Israel at this point of time. Minister Haskell, great speaking to you. Thank you very much. Enjoy the speech that's expected to begin very shortly.